Good morning, amazing, beautiful souls and soul sisters everywhere. Welcome to another adventure with my soul sister bestie, Miss Connie Rose. Good morning.
It is a good morning. It's
Oh,
amazing, really.
it is.
I cannot wait to share what I get to share today.
We have so much happening. In fact, there's so much happening that we're going to unpack this segment over the next probably month, all the way through the end of the year. So
It's a good chance.
strap it in, ladies. We're getting going on a wild adventure. And so the question we have for you today is, are you ready to master your relationship resonance?
Yeah.
And it's no accident that there's no accidents, that we're talking about this today. Holy guacamoles.
Holy guacamole is right. Well, and we just came, if you're listening in America, we just came out of the Thanksgiving Day holiday season.
Yeah.
And chances are you got to spend time with your family, either, biological and or chosen
Yeah.
family. And it went the way it went.
This is true.
And wouldn't it be great to know how to impact it such that it leaves everyone enlightened, expanded, right?
Yeah.
Um, this is so good. I mean, it's always exactly what we need to hear when we need to hear it, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So, you may be either you can be in a lot of different places as you listen to this. Like you just had your Thanksgiving Day weekend holiday, and it went how it went, and you could have. I'm sure everyone has feelings about that, and this chapter really breaks down the intentions of our relationships. And even if you're single, you have a relationship with everything. Like we don't exist in a vacuum. You have your relationship with your body, your finances, your job or business, the food you eat, like everything, your pets. We have so many relationships. And we were talking a little bit earlier, like our current educational system does not yet powerfully equip us, in my opinion, to
And by the way, Connie was a teacher for how many years?
25.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have a master's degree in education. I love learning and educating. And I think most people would agree our educational system is flawed. So we get to share the things that are making a difference for us.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start reading, and then we're going to share some more fun things
Yes.
you may or may not be aware of. So this is chapter 7 in the frequency book. And it starts with this quote by Stephen Mitchell: the profound feeling of connection and belonging that is evoked in the experience of home and in the presence of someone who comes from our home or with whom we have made a home reflects a kind of matching, a pervasive resonance between what is inside us with what is outside us, between the past and the present, between what we were and what we long to be. Mm-hmm. So if you've been following along with the book, you'll notice we've moved through different stages, right, of the transformation process. So we first got the lay of the land in terms of frequencies and how your awareness is accelerating. Then we looked at what might block or distort your sensitivity and how to clear it. After that, we focused on finding your home frequency and worked to develop conscious sensitivity skills. Now we'll move into another phase, applying that sensitivity and awareness and frequency principles to important areas of life. Like, this is great. This is what I love, like the application, right?
This is juicy. This is the playbook, the blueprint, the
Yes.
how-to.
Yes. So the first of these relationships, for it seems everything we do is based on relating. In addition, like even meditating, they said, like even when you're meditating alone and it occurs like you're alone, you're not alone. Like there's that relationship with yourself. In addition to people and animals, like the relationships, right? We have relationships with everything from our money and car to our body and to the divine. Having great personal relationships, those we might even categorize as soulmates or spiritual family, is our most idyllic dream. Like, who doesn't dream of these like perfect relationships, you know? And what we may not be aware of is that they are perfect as they are because they're there for us, right?
This is true.
What's more satisfying than being on the same wavelength with someone, you know? And we know that. You know, we had so much fun together, and I don't want to do the rest of my life without you. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So what's better than, or more satisfying than, working together harmoniously, anticipating each other's needs? It's a primal joy to assist in someone's healing or to offer help when someone needs it.
Mm.
And everyday relationships can also make us miserable.
Oh.
In our most challenging trials and traumas.
Mm.
What to do? Relationships, just like everything else, are vibrational. So knowing how to work with frequency principles can turn troubled interactions into real gifts of the spirit. So we start by looking at who's populating your world.
Whether you know it or not, it's happening.
Exactly.
Better to know that it's happening, and then you can actually create it.
Yes. So take a look around. What sort of people do you have as friends, business associates, and intimates? If you're lucky, they're trustworthy, affectionate, and thoughtful. They have time for you and want the best for you. They meet you halfway, coming as far forward into engagement as you do, and they're adaptable, communicative, productive, and contributory. On the other hand, you may be surrounded with people who are wounded victims, leeches, blaming punishers, withholding non-communicators, or passive-aggressive dominators. So I'd like to just begin to look around. There's a reason your world contains the people it does. All of them. All relationships, even those that seem difficult, are gifts from your soul to help you find blocks, talents, and new directions that you might not discover alone. That's the truth.
Aim. Wow, this is so good. Keep going.
So I know, right? I'm telling you, I'm reading the book and go like, I'm highlighting everything. I'm like, I don't think we can just piece through this. This is so good. Some might share interests and affirm your talents, helping you develop confidence. Some are catalysts to help you learn your life lessons. Some introduce you to new ideas and potentials. Still others may be with you simply for joy's sake, because your souls like being together. Troublesome relationships exist to help free you from unhealthy feeling habits. So Thomas Burton says, love is our true destiny. I'm going to say that again. Love is our true destiny. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone. We find it with another.
So true.
So I'm going to pause for station identification here for a minute, because, you know, we've created this Soul Sister Adventure community for this exact purpose, you know, and it's so great to put some language around it, because that really was our deepest desire when we created this almost a year ago. Can you believe we're coming up on our year anniversary?
When did we begin? We have to look.
We'll have to look. Yeah. It was in January, 2023.
Okay.
But I don't know what day. We'll definitely have to look.
Yeah. Well, and we're at like 50 or 51 episodes, so it's got to be.
Yeah. We're close to that year.
Yeah.
And our intention and desire for our listeners and our community really started from the juiciness of our relationship. And I continue to get new insights and joy and blessing from that. I love you so much.
Me too. I love you so much. That's why I sent you the message this morning.
I know she sends me this message like I'm putting on my makeup because you want to look good, and at least I want to look good. I'll just say that. And I'm like bawling. I'm like, I gotta do my eye makeup.
I was just doing my homework.
Yes, and then we're gonna talk about that. So we've been providing different events. This podcast as a really our extension of creating what we have as a ripple so that others can also experience that too.
Yeah.
And last week, Shannon had a inspiration early, I'm going to say from God.
Totally.
And you may not know about this yet. So I want to give Shannon an opportunity to talk about what you've been creating as totally related to this chapter about relationships with yourself and others. So can you talk about the whole, how did it start and all the things?
All the juice.
All the juice.
So I had, again, these awarenesses that come over. And one of the awarenesses, I kept getting this vision of this ab roller that I had in my basement.
Who knew inspiration could come from, how old is that ab roller?
Oh, the early 90s. I'll just say that. So,
30 years.
Yeah. And what's so is I had multiple people say to me something like, wow, your legs look so good. And I'm like,
I say that to you every day at the gym.
Yeah. And I'm like not working on my legs. Anything I do with regards to the movement or going to the gym or walking is all for my mental mindset, for me to, be prepared. And I kept having this vision of the ab roller, and I'm like, I'm going to do this ab roller, and I'm just going to do it every day, and I'm going to see what difference. The only thing that's changed with my legs is I put them to work. So it's like, if what area of my life do I want to go to work on, and then that of course becomes an expression of everything in our lives, right? So my mental intentionality to go at work on my abs, you can just map on that is also a mental intention to go at work on my business, on my heart, it's a reflection of everything. Yes. Is that landing, Connie?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm like, all right, all I did was work on my go to work on my abs. So I'm going to post this publicly. Well, the first day I just posted a picture of the ab roller, itself. And then the second day I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to do the ab roller thing. So I'm going to do a video and I'm going to post it. And I looked at the video and of course I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing and blah, 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 all the thoughts. And then the third day, I'm going to tell you what happened was I was so excited to run down to the basement to do my ab roller, to then post it as an accountability for me. It was like, I'm going to do this anyway for me. And then God entered in, right? And he gave me this whole vision. I had done 75 hard a long time ago. And I don't know about you ladies, but I'm no longer willing to do anything hard. And so I just had these visions of aligned, right? And I had seen someone else do a 75 aligned challenge. However, I think she quit after 4 days. And I'm like, how can I set this up such that not only can I win, because this is something I want to do anyway, but if I created this as an event, how could we have everyone win? And so I'm aligned, and I'm like, okay, well, it could be 30 days. And then but that didn't ring, it didn't
alliteration.
So good. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, 35. I'm like, wait, 35. And then I was like, hey, Google, how many days away will be 35? And it was Monday from the Monday we just had to the end of the year is exactly 35 days. And I don't know about you. I'm just saying all that was divinely orchestrated.
Yeah.
And so, here I am already in action to energetically source something that is an expression of what I've been after and doing, to then enroll a whole community of women to take on to do what? Come into the highest version of themselves. So 35 aligned, it's 5 things for the next 35 days to really have you optimize, get in tune with your highest, greatest self. First thing to do is 1 gallon of water a day, right? Hydrate. second thing is movement, move for 20 minutes, right? And so for me, I'm really taking on, taking a walk outside, but you can do anything. I know Connie's doing, what are you doing?
Tai Chi Gung.
Tai Chi Gun. The third thing is, study or learn something for 10 minutes each day. And then the fourth thing is to do the gratitude practice. And those practices are it's actually called the magic practice. And those practices are coming from the book called The Magic. And it really is about an act and practice of bringing gratitude to every area of your life. And I'm going to tell you, we'll talk about the practices in a little bit. Profound, 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 profound. And then, of course, the fifth and final thing is to share. Because again, the whole reason the event occurred was because I was sharing a really embarrassing video of me doing ab rolling. And it's, it takes me about 2.5 to 3 minutes to do. And I put it on hyper. And so it's like 1 minute of me ab rolling. But it holds me accountable. And so again, I had a girlfriend call me at 9 o'clock in the morning. My vibration is off the charts because I had already been doing my morning routine, right? And I'm like, hey, I had this crazy idea. Do you want to do this with me? And she's like, yeah. And so we literally launched it from like an idea, like a God-inspired idea, to an actual reality in 4 days. And we now have over 70 women in the group.
Complete with a checklist.
Yes, we got,
which I love. I'm like that girl. Like, I love it. Yeah.
We've got checklists. We've got images to share. We have the daily gratitude thing being prompted at 9 o'clock the night before. So your next day is all set up. So I don't know. How has it been for you, Connie, as a participant? And of course, seeing the ripple effect of not only, because I promise you, this Soul Sister podcast was like the onset of even that happening.
Yeah. Well, everything is like divinely magical, right? And I have had a gratitude journal off and on since I was like 20, I think, and I'm 51. So a hot minute, right? And so ever since Oprah had something on her show back in the early 90s, I have stacks of gratitude journals. And what I love about this 35 Aligned is it keeps me present, especially this time of year. We were talking last night, like the days are shorter and even animals go into hibernation.
Wow.
And there's a pull in the frequency of the world to like hunker down
and start eating. And like, that's also what I wanted to interrupt. Like the ordinary way that my holidays could have gone.
Yeah. Because what does that usually look like?
Stuffing my face, sitting on the couch, drinking too much, like doing nothing, stopping on my business, like just taking my foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens? We set a New Year's resolution to do what? Begin all over again.
Get back on track.
Yeah. So what would it look like if we never got off track, that we actually created practices for momentum such by the time we get to January 1, you were like, woo-hoo, let's go, baby.
Yes. Well, and the previous weekend, I got to be with Master Lama Rasaji at the Ascension Tour, which is I call it like an amazing retreat, really, way beyond that. And I had a private session with him, and he said to me, you're getting free in 23, so you could soar in 24. And for me, as I'm wrapping up 23 consciously and creating 24 already, which has been going on for a hot minute, to have these structured, it's a structure for fulfillment is what it occurs to me.
Yeah.
And it's been great because as I was talking to you last night, it was like 7 o'clock and I was just like wiped out. And so what I did was I went into the Facebook community, the 35 Aligned Facebook community, and watched you and watched Cheryl. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing it. And I, at the bottom of our form, it's like, why did I start this?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to end 23 empowered and free.
And
so that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm crying now.
Well, can I share what you wrote to me this morning?
Oh, you can share my homework.
Okay.
So what was the practice? The practice, today's practice, so it's day 3. Today's practice was to, and again, I'm going off memory, but it's to find pictures of 3 people, the most important relationships in your life, and write down 5 things about them that you specifically are most grateful for. And start off with thank you, and then their name, and then what specifically you are grateful for them for.
Yeah.
And so I wrote it all out. And as I was writing it all, of course I moved. And then what do I want to do? I want to share. I'm like, hey, I was doing my homework and this is what I got.
Yeah. So this is the text message I got that precipitated the second application of my eye makeup today. So it says, number 1, thank you, Connie, for loving me exactly where I was and exactly where I wasn't until I was ready to change. Number 2, thank you, Connie, for introducing me to a life of transformation and creating my life. Number 3, thank you for always coming back to pull me out when I forgot who I was then and now. I could not do this life without us doing that for each other. And we've been doing that for a while. Like,
We've
that's
been doing that a lot, 17 years.
Yeah. Thank you, Connie, for the learning journey that I have gotten through you so much about frequencies, business, faith, perseverance, sisterhood, being a mom, and all the things. And that's back at you. Like, that's like, it's this Shannon.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, we really do have this like infinity shaped energy flowing between us. Thank you, Connie, for number 5. Thank you, Connie, for saying yes to the rest of your life with me and getting in the car and always being my sidekick as we co-create adventures in the world, awakening women and letting our light shine bright. Because without you, I would not have had a light at all. So there's the
I don't have any tissues.
I know.
Yeah. So my cup runneth over.
The power. What I mean, this is the text message I get to read this morning.
Because I did my homework.
Do you know, like, what a profound gift like my life gets to be because of this relationship? And I told Shannon this morning, like, the book, of course, the chapter's on relationships.
Yeah.
And I really, really want our listeners in our community to get the power that's available in this 35 aligned program.
Well, and just get like, there's we'll just say 70 women in there. If all 70 women did their homework today and actually sent it out, it'd be 70 times 3 text messages or phone calls or letters where people got moved by the gift that they were in someone's life.
Yes.
That's actually what I'm out for.
Yes.
Which is no small feat. And we have like a handful of people that are
that are sharing.
Yeah, that are sharing, yes.
Because not people, I assert,
are playing
and not necessarily sharing. And sharing is on the list. And so I'm like, I got to check things off. So I'm like, okay, I guess I got to share. Last night, I'm like, I got to take a picture of my little, my stone that yeah. And so you can begin to hear already, and we haven't even gotten into the book.
Yeah. How did the book relate to this? Because now I need
well, it's all like, this, like, I don't get to be me without Shannon.
Yep.
I don't get to be me without, like, I have a handful of amazing women and a couple guys in my world. And again, because I'm aware of energy and frequency and all the things, to consciously create really what I ultimately need. And but it's this infinity wave of energy, like, as Shannon contributes, then I contribute back. And it's like this Tai Chi Yang exercise that we do that's moving the energy back and forth. And I just think it's such a gift that you get to give yourself during this, you know, so it's no coincidence we're in Advent. And so Advent is this time in the church, and this is not a religious thing. Our podcast is not religious, and we are deeply spiritual beings. So I'm sharing this. It's not about, if you think the Advent is only about the birth of Jesus, you miss the whole point of Advent. It is really about this birth of the divine within us.
Wow.
And this preparation time that we have to prepare our hearts such that like you're here for a reason. And the faster you figure that out and get a community around you to fulfill on that,
yeah.
Why else are we even here?
Yeah. Well, the happier you'll be, the more fulfilled you'll be.
Yes.
The more abundant you will be.
And the bigger impact we get to have.
Yeah.
And it is this ripple that goes into our relationships, like with our loved ones, our businesses, our community. I mean, it just keeps going out. And I love what you created with 35 Aligned, with what you and Cheryl have created. And I just really want, you know, so it's like I see, you know, these ripple, like things are like, so one of the things I love about we've learned about in transformation is things that have never moved are now moving. That's my favorite part about it. It's like things that are stuck get unstuck. Yeah. And things, and it's like, so I'm doing all these practices, and I'm even just going to tell you things that were stuck, and I'm talking stuck for 4 years stuck.
Yep.
4 years stuck.
Yep.
Are moving in ways I could have never, ever, ever predicted.
Yep.
Such that there's more joy and expansion.
Yep.
In my heart.
Yeah. Period.
And then looking at how do I want to impact what I'm creating?
Yep.
How that sources more things.
Yeah.
And you know, Thanksgiving was my first Thanksgiving without my mom, which was a very important, still is a very important relationship to me.
Yeah.
Really the foundation, honestly. Like she's the one who made me that I get to be that for you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember if I shared this before, but my mom, I know, you know, I want our listeners to hear, you know, my mom said, I know you're going to be okay because you got Shannon. What a gift. And that's available to everyone. When you are, when you're consciously aware.
Yes.
And then use what you're learning to make a difference, you know.
And step into it, like to be dialed into the podcast, to share the podcast, to get into the 35 Aligned, like to show up at the events, like yeah. You got to actually be on the court and play.
Yes. And
that's ultimately because your cup is filled up, then you start to overflow, and then there's the ripple.
Yes. So even in grief, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm present to the blessings. Like there's all these beautiful things that most people miss out on, I assert. So that even in the dark times, I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, totally.
Like I had one of my people in my business messaged me this morning and said, I was thinking about you. I know the holidays were hard. And I wouldn't necessarily say they were hard. They were different.
Yeah.
And because I had these foundational practices, like I got to appreciate the love and the beauty and all the things. And, you know, and it's available. And if it's available for me, it's available for anyone.
That's right.
You know, so so the Facebook group is 35 Aligned.
Yep.
And
we're on day 3.
We're on day 3, so it's not too late.
Nope, absolutely not.
So I just highly encourage you guys to jump in.
Yeah.
Start playing.
Download the checklist. Start at day one, do day one. You
Print
can
it out.
literally do day one, day two, day three's homework in one day in
Yes.
less than 15 minutes.
Yes. Yes. So that's what I'm like, this just fits in so well,
Yeah.
with what we're doing. And
Thanks for letting me share.
well, it's such a beautiful gift that you guys are giving our community. I just, it makes me sad about people missing out on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then I invite you to come to our free water store and get living water. If you're gonna be drinking a gallon of anything, oh my Lanta, please allow me to gift you the gift of living water.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that alone will raise your frequency and get things moving, I promise. Yeah. Real. For real. So like we are providing every tool we know to provide.
Yeah.
For free.
Such that you have the highest version of light and love for you, such that you can get unhooked, unhinged from whatever's been holding you back, get unstuck, get that you have a whole community that supports you, is seeing you, is hearing you, is listening for you, such that you unleash your gifts into the world because your roar is needed. And
That's
we
right.
just want to
The
be
roar
the
is required.
conduit for you getting access to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the big action step today.
Yeah.
Get into the group, start playing. And if you listen to this podcast in the future, not, we're at November, end of November 2023.
Yeah.
Jump in, the group will still be there.
Yes. And we'll be playing again.
Yes. And to take the homework is just, I promise you, if you play with us, you will have a different 24 than you would have had.
Oh my Lanta.
And you're worth it.
Yes.
You are worth it. And all the relationships that you have in your life are worth it.
Yeah.
We're here for a reason. We might as well get the most juice out of it as possible. Or else why bother?
Yeah.
Why bother? I mean, yeah, we're not here to be ordinary. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know I've only read 2 pages of the book, of the chapter.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to finish with that? Otherwise, we can come back next week.
Well, the next section is relationships are a path to transformation. So we could either start there next week or we could finish there.
You pick.
So my muscle test says start there next week.
Great. That's what we'll do.
Yep.
Well, this has been power packed already.
I know. This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So much magic, so much truth. Such an adventure. It's a glorious ride with you in the car, on the way.
That's right.
To anything and everywhere.
Wrap it in.
Well, beautiful. Well, let us know in the comments, what are you just loving most about this podcast? What got unhooked for you today? Are you going to begin the 35 line? Are you already in the 35 line? We want to hear what are you getting. Post and share, and like it, tag it, post and share it, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Love you.
Love you. Get in the car.
Get in the car.